have seen this animal outside? A lot of us.
Yeah, we caught it.
This is called a Woodhouse's toad. Toads and frogs are a lot the same, but usually toads have this bumpy kind of skin. Now, do you guys think I can get warts from touching this frog or this toad? No, I don't like my job that much. You can't get warts from a toad. A lot of people think you can because their skin looks kind of bumpy, right? But it's just the way their skin made. It's like you have freckles. You can't catch freckles. You can't catch anything this guy either. How many of you ever picked one of these up out in the wild? What do they do when you pick them up?
They pee on it.
They jump away.
They pee on it.
And they pee on you, absolutely. Why do you think toads pee so much? Because they're scared. They're afraid you're going to eat them, right?
Yeah.
Would you eat something that was peeing?
No.
What they do is, first of all, they're scared, and a lot of us pee when we're scared. But it's also trying to make itself gross, so you'll leave it alone, and definitely make itself taste really bad. Now, do you usually find toads in dry places or wet places?
Wet.
In wet places. They can dry up a little bit. Toads are amphibians. What that means is that they breathe through their skin. What do you guys breathe through? Our mouths and our noses. Is it dry or wet inside your mouth and your nose?
Wet.
It's wet. Because being wet helps us breathe. Being wet helps the toad breathe too. But since it uses its skin, it has to be wet and slimy on the outside of its body. Just like your nose is wet and slimy on the inside. Alright. Do you guys have any questions about the toad before he goes away? Yeah? Are they scared of people? Very much. To a toad, you are something that's going to eat it. It doesn't know that you already had lunch. It thinks that you're going to eat it for a mid-afternoon snack. So toads are definitely afraid of people. This toad has been around people a lot and he knows you guys aren't going to eat him. But toads in the wild. Yeah. Yeah. You wait for it to lay eggs. I can't tell just by looking. I could do a blood test or I could wait for it to have babies. Those are the only two ways I would know for sure. Alright. I'll tell you one last question right there. Can you repeat that?
Why do toads defend themselves by using the restroom?
Okay. Because it tastes bad. Do you drink pee?
No.
Because that's gross. And it tastes bad. And they're trying to make themselves taste bad so you won't eat them. Okay. Now, I do have one other animal, and I want to make sure we have enough time to answer all the questions and touch everything at the end. So I'm going to let the toad go away for just a minute. He's a very good jumper. While we look at our last animal. Salamander. It's a Barred Tiger Salamander, which is important. Why? It is our Kansas state amphibian. Very nice. Barred Tiger Salamanders are the Kansas state amphibian. How many of you have seen one of these around outside? Alright. So, not quite as many of us have seen Do you think there are more toads or salamanders in this area?
Toads.
More toads. Is it usually really wet or kind of dry around here? Kind of dry. So this salamander lives more on the other side of the state with the beavers and the otters where it's wetter. We do have them around here. If you look in places like window wells where it holds a lot of water most of the year, you'll find them, but not as many as the toads. Salamanders need more water than toads do. But just like the toads, they breathe through their skin. And my favorite thing, and this is something you can look for when you touch them. If you look very closely at a salamander's eyes, every now and then, you'll see them disappear inside its head. Why do you suppose it might do that? Why would its eyes go inside its head? They have clear eyelids? I don't know if these guys have two eyelids or not. They might. But there's something else I'm thinking of. Do you have an idea? What? They're scared? Everybody take a second and swallow. What do you feel your tongue do when you swallow? Yeah, it pushes or it pulls back. Your tongue is pushing food or liquid or water or whatever down your throat so you can swallow it. His tongue doesn't do that. A salamander's tongue works the same way as a frog's tongue, which means it sticks out there and grabs stuff really fast. To swallow, he has to use his eyes. Every time you see a salamander blink and its eyes go inside its head, it's swallowing. Those eyes go into its mouth and push the food down its throat. I think that's awesome. If you are very lucky, you might see him swallow. Now, do you guys have any questions about the salamander? Yeah? If a salamander loses its tail, it will not grow back.
So don't cut its tail off?
Don't cut its tail off, even if it would grow back. Still don't do it, it's not nice. Yeah.
I'm letting people...
He has a mouth, he has teeth, he could bite, but not as a general rule.
I know.
Yeah. In wet places, all over Kansas and other countries, other states. Yeah? Do they come in different colors? There are lots of different kinds of salamanders out there in the world. This one is always this color, this species. But there are red salamanders that are bright red. There are some that are completely brown. They come in all colors. The largest salamander in the world is this big, from tail to head. It's huge. It lives in Asia. You wouldn't find one. Yeah. Not very well. They run and they swim, but they don't jump much. Okay, last one. Easy to catch?
No, we don't have any snack.
It depends. This salamander has lived at the zoo for quite a while, and he's very chubby, which means he's very easy to catch. A salamander in the wild are usually a lot faster, so it depends on how good you are catching salamanders. Okay, now here's what's going to happen. If you would like to touch or just see up close any of the things we've talked about today, all the stuff I have up here, we're going to make a line, not yet, stay seated, on this side of the room, and I want you to come across the table this way. I will have the salamander over at this end of the table. If you would like to touch the salamander, you're going to use your two fingers. Everybody show me your two fingers, please.
So 2 fingers.
Very nice. And I want you to put your fingers in the container here and get them wet first, and then take your wet fingers and touch the salamander. That way his skin will stay nice and wet, and he'll stay healthy. Please don't touch his head. Don't grab his tail. Just use your two fingers to touch his back. When you touch the rest of this stuff, please try and use 2 fingers again. Definitely don't pull on it. Don't tear it. Just be nice and treat it like it's something you own. Please leave the skull on the table. Don't pick it up because we don't want to break it. And after you're finished touching everything, you're going to use a squirt of hand sanitizer for me. Rub it in really